the Clintons. The smartest money going into Hillary's testimony yesterday, and we're being forward-looking, we're talking about Hillary to look forward to Bill today, was that Hillary would eat their lunch because Comer, he's a very nice guy, whatever. He's just not a competent investigator. And he's going up against one of the all-time champions of handling difficult situations under investigation, whether it's Congress or federal prosecutor. Secretary Clinton is one of the most underrated people I've ever covered in politics. She is just a skilled, brilliant, savvy person, except in 2016. And yesterday, if you didn't watch it, go watch it. She came out, she held a long press conference, just extraordinarily skilled, and mocked the Republicans. And when that transcript, which could get released today, or video, which could get released today, when that comes out, if her characterization of what they asked her is true, and I'm sure it is, they're going to look like bigger morons than they did yesterday because they're going to embarrass themselves. Now, I covered the Clintons since 1991, and I have extraordinary appreciation, as you can tell, for the skills of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Here are, if you need a reminder, 2 previous instances when, after she dealt with investigations, she held press conferences and let it all hang out. And she's so good as she was yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, a morning meeting, Friday flashback. First, the Pink Press Conference, 1994. 108, please.
Some of the opponents of health care have certainly tried to use Whitewater as a proxy for their opposition to health care. I think that in the last several days, some of the leading opponents of health care have even said things which seem to suggest that. I find that very regrettable.
She sat in the East Room to answer questions about the billing records, which is one of the most outrageous Clinton scandals of all time. It's right up there with the cattle futures, $100,000. But she answered every question. She just sat there and let it all hang out. And then 2 years later, she left the federal grand jury. Extraordinary phenomena. First Lady of the United States goes and testifies before a criminal grand jury, and she came striding out, not in pink, but in black this time, and did this.
I was glad to have the opportunity to tell the grand jury what I have been telling all of you. I do not know how the billing records came to be found where they were found, but I am pleased that they were found because they confirm what I have been saying. Well, I looked forward to being able to tell the grand jury what I know, to be able to answer their questions. I, like everyone else, would like to know the answer about how those documents...
Did she talk? Did she talk going in? I thought she talked when she came out, but that suggested she talked going in. In any event, she was masterful in her press conference again yesterday. First question, Kevin: will President Clinton, after his grand jury appearance late on a Friday night, will he speak to the press as well?
I think he does. Obviously, she set the precedent. The interesting thing I've seen on the Bill Clinton front is aides around him kind of tamping down expectations with his performance, right? Yes. Saying that he's gotten a little older. He's there's a little bit, he's, maybe missed a few steps here. Obviously, Hillary is still firing on all cylinders, as we saw. And part of the equation, too, is just look at who's on the opposite side, right? I mean, I think Nancy Mace tweeted out a photo of her and Anna Paulina Luna and James Comer in a car, heading to the deposition. We're not dealing with, rocket scientists on the other side. And Hillary obviously, worked her magic with them. And we'll see how President Clinton fares now, again, with that expectation setting. It's kind of interesting to see that kind of preempt by his team.
Yeah. Larry, CNN reported that when they showed Hillary pictures of Bill Clinton in the, I don't know, is it a swimming pool or a hot tub? Which is it?
It's a pretty big hot tub.
It's a swimming too.
Okay, in the swimming pool. When they showed pictures of Bill Clinton in the swimming pool, when they showed her pictures of Bill Clinton getting the back rub on the plane, that Hillary, they said, and one of the members said, how do you feel about that? CNN and someone else reported Hillary said, I'm not here to talk about my feelings, which is a pretty fucking good answer. Sorry to use profanity, but I'll move to in this instance. But Larry, what is Bill Clinton going to say today when he's asked, tell us the circumstances of your being in that swimming pool?
It depends on the definition of what a swimming pool is. I mean, listen, I don't think, first of all, I don't think Chairman Comer is a moron. I don't think that the Republicans on the Oversight Committee are morons or in some way, lack intelligence. I think that in comparison to the Machiavellian approach that the Clintons take to everything in their public life, they look like they're that they're babes in the woods.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
they don't approach government in the same cynical way. Because
No,
the words you used. No, but Mark, the words you used to describe.
I need to correct.
I'm sorry. You're going to correct me and tell me James Comer is a moron?
No, I'm going to correct myself. I shouldn't have called him a moron. I think he's extremely unskilled at leading investigations. If his goals are both political and substantive, Larry, what goal did he achieve yesterday for his side and for the American people, politically and substantively?
Well, I think that he may naively think that he's trying to get to the truth of this matter and trying to get facts out.
They asked her about Pizzagate and UFOs.
Well, according to Hillary Clinton, they did. And by the way, you don't know.
Well, we'll see if they get that transcript.
That.
Yeah. Larry, I'll say again. What did he achieve? Larry, what did he achieve?
Think about the words you used to describe Hillary Clinton. Not once did you say that she was forthcoming, honest, and transparent. You said she was skilled. She is skilled. She's skilled at obfuscation and parsing and threading the needle of saying things without actually saying things.
Okay, but Larry,
that's why the American people don't trust her.
I understand, but if the goal of the hearing was either to score political points for the Republicans or to play defense for President Trump or to get to the bottom of the Clintons' involvement in this, he achieved nothing yesterday. He achieved nothing, except to make Hillary look great.
This is a 1-2 in your eyes, perhaps not in my eyes. There are plenty of people who don't think Hillary Clinton looked great yesterday. Here's the important thing. This is a 1-2 punch. What Bill Clinton says today, in contrast to and in comparison to what Hillary Clinton said, is really what this is all about.
Okay, I agree with you 100%. But here's my question. And Kevin, let me just ask Larry one more question. Yeah. Do you think they'll do a better job today, both in the room and afterwards, with Bill Clinton than they did with Hillary Clinton?
It depends on what you consider a better job. I'm not looking at what kind of job they do.
Achieve an objective, either a political objective or a substantive objective.
The question should be, will Bill Clinton be honest and will their stories be consistent? Why do you think Hillary Clinton went first? It was so she could lay down the marker of what the testimony was going to be, and they spent all night briefing Bill saying, don't say this, say this. We can all see through this, Mark.
Kevin, one of the brilliance of the Clintons is they come up with a line of spin that doesn't actually engage on the answer.
That's right.
On the true question, and they just repeat it. So here's where they've set the bar. Never went
to the... But why are we praising them for that, Mark?
Well, Larry, we're praising their political skill, and we're praising it, but we're also saying the Republicans need to take this into account. If they want to achieve their objectives, they need to be as good or better than the Clintons. Kevin would say,
and they never will be.
Never went to the island. Yeah. No, hold on. Never went to the island.
Not to be the peacemaker here, but you're actually both right. The political skills of the Clintons are unmatched. But to Larry's point, they've been doing this for 40 years in terms of the obfuscation and the spinning narrative. And that's excellent.
Don't take on world-class
Don't take them on. Exactly
if you
right.
Can't match it. But Kevin, here's my question.
And what did Hillary Clinton get out of this yesterday? An agreement almost by Comer to get Trump cabinet members to now testify.
Correct.
Given Howard Lutnick, the first thing for this is to do no harm.
Howard Lutnick's already testified.
That bar was
he testified on not in front of an investigative committee. He testified because he was testifying on Commerce Committee business.
For appropriations.
The Clintons spin, and again, Larry's right. Maybe it's too cynical for me to praise this, but the Clintons say, here's the bar. Did we ever go to the island? No. Did we have any dealings with Jeffrey Epstein after he was sent to jail? No. I forget what the third thing. Oh, did we know about his illegality at the time? No. That's where they set the bar. But Bill Clinton, at a minimum, he took the plane rides from the guy. At a minimum, he's got the photos, and at a minimum, he took him to a wedding. Like he had a relationship with Maxwell and Epstein, and whether he saw or did anything illegal is different than the question of did he aid and abet the operation, right? So my question to you, Kevin, is what will the headline be out of Bill Clinton's testimony today? Because the testimony out of Hillary's was they asked her a bunch of irrelevant questions and she swatted them away. What will the headline be?
Yeah.
No, according to all the coverage, Larry. Larry, I haven't seen a single conservative media outlet or person on Twitter say anything about yesterday that was good for your side. I haven't seen one.
But because the characterization of what was asked is Hillary's characterization of it. Okay. We don't know what was asked.
She's telling the truth. Kevin, what will the headline be?
God forbid Hillary Clinton not tell the truth about something.
What will the headline be, Kevin? What will the headline be?
That it's a nothing burger, and that these two now have testified. So what happens now with the president? What happens with cabinet members, and things like that? I think don't also doubt, even though he's older and they're drawing down expectations, that they've agreed to 1 day of testimony in this deposition. And I could see the president spending hours talking about Clinton Global Initiative, all the things they did together to spin this narrative that, okay, I took these plane rides to Haiti, to the DR to do this important work. And again, Larry, you make an excellent point about the strategy behind Hillary going first, right? And those folks in the room recording that conversation, Nick Merrill, others, and then now briefing the president to be even better now starting at 11 o'clock.
Larry, one more question on this, we'll move on. Hillary was defiant in her opening statement, in her testimony, as far as we know, and in the press conference after. Will Bill Clinton be defiant?
Nope. This is how they work it. He's going to be the good old boy, charming guy. And he's shucks, I had no idea.
If accepting a plane ride to feed 1 million children in Africa is the price of dealing with Jeffrey Epstein,
exactly right.
Just
guilty as charged.
Let me just say, Bill Clinton, I think it's objectively fair to say and true that he had way more interactions, or it's been recorded that he had more interactions with Jeffrey Epstein than Donald Trump ever did. And yet, in 2006, it was Donald Trump who told the chief of police in Palm Beach, everybody knew what this guy was doing, and Bill Clinton still claims he had no idea. Right. The American people need to reconcile those two facts.
Well, the only thing I'll say about that, Larry, is we really don't know how much time Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein spent together.
I just said, based on what we know, based on the record, Bill Clinton had way more interactions than Donald Trump.
I'm not sure. Just that one thing at Mar-a-Lago with the...
Based on what we know.
Well,
we can only base our opinion on what we know.
I'm not sure. Here's why I differ from that. Bill Clinton, as far as we know, to use your framing, took some plane rides from the guy and took them to a wedding. I believe that's the sum total of what we know. And they were involved in the global initiative.
And they were involved in the global initiative, and there were shoulder rubs, and there were swimming pools. And
but Trump was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. They were friends. He had a favorable quote in New York Magazine.
Oh, so Bill Clinton traveled with him, hung out in swimming pools with him, went to parties with him, took his money, but they were never friends?
Correct. If you know anything about Bill Clinton and his relationships with people, he had friend-like interactions with people, way more friend-like than that of people who were not his friends at all.
It's a bit more transactional with
I don't think those were the only transactions.
I don't. Boom. I don't read the chat, but I glance at it. I know some of you felt we spent too long on this. Point of personal privilege for me. The Clintons were the first politicians I ever covered, and when they're in the news, I just lose it. I just get so whatever. Hey, want to be part of the two-way community all the time? Hit the subscribe button. Great video clips like this, plus conversations like no other, full episodes, and more, always available on this channel. You got to hit subscribe to never miss a thing. You can now listen to full episodes of The Morning Meeting and Two Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.